Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best.
Well, Grant, every year about 20 of our segments are dedicated to
Jarome Iginla. Mike, you should have had a sponsor like a watch company, the Jarome Iginla watch. Because we talk about...
and get Beasley to announce it every time we walk in. Jarome Iginla. You know what they should do is take Beasley's energy and mix it with the hockey broadcast and just kind of get that medium build up right there.
Some of the arena announcers now?
No, Beasley and the Flames games.
Oh,
mix them up.
Mix them up.
Be perfect blend.
Get his enthusiasm, put that on the ice.
Yeah.
And tone him down a little bit.
Just mix them right up in the middle. That's what you need.
So you want to talk about Jarome Iginla?
Yeah.
We have talked about Jarome every week on this show for years.
I know we have.
Now the rest of the world is catching up with us.
We are the trendsetters that we are.
Because around the NHL, Jarome Iginla, where he's going is the buzz, isn't it?
Every week, every time you go on to any kind of internet read, there's Jarome's name. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Boston. Especially, in Boston, they're looking for a third man to play on that third string. It's hard to believe that he'd be that, but they're so deep on the top two lines. And then, of course, they're still talking about him in Crosby in Pittsburgh. But here's an interesting thing, Grant, if I can just add this. Elliot Freeman of Hockey Night in Canada, I heard him recently say, how about this scenario where they actually trade Jarome, let him go, attempt to win his Stanley Cup elsewhere, then when he's a free agent, bring him back and let him retire as a Calgary Flame.
If I'm Jarome Iginla, to me that is like the Titanic's going down, you're on the lifeboat, and the captain says, "Come on back, we're okay, we fixed the leak." Oh, okay.
I found your watch.
And you roll over to the Titanic to get back on.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
Why would you want to come back next year to this?
Yeah.
I understand the scenario. If you're an okay team and there are some really true building blocks to almost being a cup contender or even get in the playoffs, it seems ludicrous to talk like that when you're 15th place team. So, Mike, I guess what I'm saying is that makes sense on paper, but I don't know why Jarome would want to come back.
Well, I mean, the rumors are certainly going out there, but maybe it is time just
it is time.
It is. I mean, you have to look at the number of pieces that they can get, Grant. Right now, if I was Flames ownership, I would be making that move. I mean, and folks, I hate to see Jarome go. I love seeing it when guys can stay and they are the franchise and they can stay and end their career there. I love seeing that. But the reality of it is this guy's great. And
Does
I
that
love
happen
him.
anymore in sport?
No, it doesn't. Let him go like Ray Bork. Let him go try and win a championship. But you have to get rid of Bouwmeester in that contract, and you have to get rid of Kiprusoff. If anyone will take him right now because of this injury and the way he's playing, perhaps his image is tarnished. And who needs a goaltender right now? Maybe Chicago will finally realize these guys aren't as good as they thought they were at the early part of the season.
Kiprusoff only makes $1.5 million next year on the end of his contract. So he was front end loaded, so it goes down. He'd be an attractive just for that. I think he makes about $1.5 million next year, give or take $1 million or two.
Yeah. We can raise a fund to help him stay here.
Yeah, help moving expenses to Chicago. I think trading Jarome Iginla, I've said it all along, it should have happened 3 years ago. Why not make it happen now? If it sets the team forward in getting prospects and draft picks,
right?
You got to do it. Jay Bouwmeester, I think, will be the most sought after Flame.
Even with that high contract, eh?
Well, it's 6.6, but if you're getting, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's playing well this year.
He's a good player.
Yep.
I heard somebody say, an analyst say, that a lot of coaches like the way he plays. He can skate. He's a shutdown guy. He's got some skill. We don't see that very often, but he's got some skill. So a team like Detroit, there's a lot of teams that could use this guy right now. So I would think Jay Bouwmeester brings back a lot. And I think the Flames should do that with Bouwmeester, Iginla, Kiprusoff, and I would get rid of Camilleri as well, too. Don't you think? We talk about, is corporate Calgary ready to buy into this? That the Flames ownership group has said, Mika Kiprusoff, Jarome Iginla, the old guys, make us money. They give our brand a face, a name. It brings in dollars. Don't you think now that that era is over, that corporate Calgary would get excited about seeing, geez, we got this young guy, oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for that change now. Because if things make sense monetary-wise, money-wise, if that makes sense, then I think they'll do it.
Well, Grant, where in the hell are they with all these big names now? They're dead last.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just not going to get any better.
And people always say, oh, we don't want to do what the Oilers did. Oh, we don't want to do what the Oilers did. You're worse than the Oilers. You're already terrible. It can't get any worse. It can't get any worse than it is now.
Which brings me to the point. At what point
That's
do
two
the
points.
Oilers say, hey, what about our management team here? Tambellini and Kevin Lowe. I mean, we've been waiting a long time for them to turn this around. We've got all these top draft choices. Every year we say, next year's the year we're going to get better. We got Taylor Hall, we got all these young superstars. But right now, them and the Flames are fighting it out for that last spot. I mean, at what point?
They should be held accountable.
Yeah. And so
because all they've been doing, all Tambellini has really done is go and get the first-round draft pick for 3 years in a row.
I can stand up there and say,
Nail Yakupov,
yeah, absolutely.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins,
Yeah.
Taylor Hall,
Yeah.
and not add pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And
not address the points that they need to address, like that defense, right?
So don't you think that's the fear of Flames management and ownership, that the Oilers have drafted young guys but not been able to attract free agents and players via trades to Edmonton? Could that happen here? Why? You know, people say, well, next year the Flames could get these prospects and draft picks and then go after and free up some cash to get free agents. Why would a free agent want to come here next year?
Well, there's always
unless you throw huge money they can't refuse.
But Grant, there's also that danger of the Toronto Maple Leafs where they thought, hey, it'd be safe to trade away their future for a guy like Kessel, and then they end up, getting, well, Tyler Seguin and several other guys. The trade thing isn't always a guarantee either, right? I mean,
No.
there's always that risk. But you have to roll the dice sometimes.
No, okay, yeah, but I'm trying to draw the parallel that you brought up about the Oilers management.
Yeah.
That maybe they've been trying to get people, Mike.
Yeah.
But guys just don't want to go there. And I think that is a fear that could happen here, that guys do not want to come here. So they get rid
Do
of
you not think it's here already? Maybe not.
No,
Maybe
I think with Iginla and Kiprusoff here, there's a perception around other players in the NHL that Calgary, it gives them a name, it gives them a face. They've got Kiprusoff, they've got Iginla. Without those guys, I think hockey management saying, why would a free agent want to come here? We've got Barchi and Mike Bloom or some other prospect guy. Why would they come? I think that is a big fear.